Good day, UNISA students. Today we're going to continue with our lessons or topics. Today we will be talking about essay writing. I think you have heard about this term of essays. So in an academic environment, you will be writing a lot of essays. Essays does not mean sometimes being given this particular topic, like maybe talk about the rollout vaccine, or so essay, it's each and every academic writing. And what you need to know is that when you write an essay, it is a very, very structured process. You don't just write without following the structure. So the purpose of this topic is to give you, to conscientize you about the basic format when you write an essay. For instance, you need to have your introduction, where you're going to introduce the topic that you're talking about. You must have your body, which is formulated or formed by different paragraphs and ideas. And of course, you must have your conclusion. So this structure should be applied in each and every piece of academic writing, such as maybe when you go further with your studies, or in your second year, third year, when you write your research proposals or your dissertations. So hence now, with essay writings, we are preparing you to the academic environment where you need to structure your writing. So essays, you find that you will be having short essays, you will have medium, you will have long paragraphs or essays, which will be required in your assignment and exam questions. If maybe you are given a question to say, explain what is meant by this terminology, or define this kind of a terminology, you are still writing an essay. So hence I wanted to make it very, very clear to say, when you talk of an essay, it's not only referring to a long, 2 to 3 pages. Even when you are writing a short paragraph, it needs to be concise. It needs to have the beginning and the end, which is the introduction and the conclusion. So I'm going to briefly take you through this process or the format of essays. Like I have highlighted in the previous slide, that definitely you must have your introduction, because you cannot start your essay with a conclusion, then you come the body, and then you have an introduction. So it should be chronological. It must follow a certain order. So what is your introduction? And let me tell you, introduction is the most crucial part of your essay, because this is where you give a brief summary or a synopsis of what you're going to talk about, what will be discussed. So you sort of give a brief summary, to say, in this topic, I'm going to talk about this. So a reader will have an idea, what is it that you're talking about? And it is appropriate for you to start your introduction by, say, maybe using quotations or a proverb or any figurative language, because it sort of captures, your reader. It gets your reader hooked to say, oh, okay, this is a very interesting quotation. Then your reader becomes interested, in listening further. What are you talking about? And what you need to take note of is that the length of the introduction should be plus minus 4 to 6 lines. It shouldn't be longer, because remember, you are just giving the synopsis of what you will be discussing about. So very important now is you come to the body. This is the crux or the core of your essay, where now you will be elaborating on the ideas, you know, your main ideas. Each and every idea should come chronologically. Remember, when you write, you can't start from the climax. You need to come gradually, you know, incrementally. So the body will be formed by more than one paragraphs, maybe 3 to 5 paragraphs. And as a student, you know, you will be guided by the marks. If, for instance, you are required to write an essay which is, for instance, 20 marks, or, you know, the other one is 50 marks. It means then, if it's 20 marks, maybe you can write 3 to 4 paragraphs, and then if maybe it's 50, obviously you will have more than 5 paragraphs, because you will be expatiating, you will be elaborating on the topic that you're dealing with. And the main thing here is that you need to organize your ideas chronologically, not haphazardly, because, you know, if there is this idea that needs maybe to come closer to the conclusion, and then you start with that idea, then you are not logical. You need to start logically, and then don't be haphazard in your ideas. So each and every idea should form a paragraph. And be careful of not lumping ideas in the same paragraph. If you're talking about this particular idea, then finish with that idea, and then you will bring the other idea on the next paragraph. Remember, now you are elaborating. And the last format of when you write an essay is your conclusion, which sometimes we call a resolution. This is the last paragraph of your essay, and it usually mirrors the introduction. Remember, you have given your introduction there to say this is what you'll be discussing about. So in your conclusion, you sort of sum up what your ideas, and then in your conclusion, because there should be synergy between your introduction and your conclusion. So you have here, close up your essay, you give your views or your feelings about the topic, to say, in my view. Hence, you will be using such phrases that, in my views, this is how I feel or I think about this particular topic. What is the moral of the story? So here you give your opinion. You can even say, in my opinion, this is how I view this. So those are the 3 key aspects of when you are writing an essay. So I just gave you some few examples of essays, what we call a narrative essay. So this narrative essay, it's sort of a plot that gives you details about the incident that you have a witness. So it mandates you to plan, and then in your planning, you have to brainstorm about the topic. You have to mind map. You have to have a flow chart of ideas. So because you are going to give the plot of the story. So obviously, in each and every essay, like I highlighted, you will have your introduction, which sets the tone and introduces the characters in that particular narrative. And then, of course, you will have your body, where the development of events leads to the climax or the anticlimax. So incrementally, when you are discussing, you will have the development of ideas. And this narration, when in a narrative essay, you do, or you write in the past tense, in the first or third person. Remember, you are narrating about something that happened. So your reader wasn't there. So you are narrating this event to your reader. So it must be in the past tense. And of course, when you are narrating, the mood should be created by using powerful and precise diction or tone. So your mood of, your narration should be powerful. Even the tone, it should tell, so that whoever who is reading your essay should be able to follow, to say, wow, this is what happened, as if he was also there. And then the second type of essay, we have got a descriptive essay. Obviously, it explains itself, where you are describing, you are painting a picture, but using words. Where you are describing about these people or the characters, you are describing the places, you are describing the situations, the process of what happened. You describe it, you paint a picture in such a way that a person who is reading will feel like, he was there. If you are describing Disneyland, for instance, or you are describing Mapungubwe, take your reader to see how Mapungubwe looks like. So that's why even your feelings, your emotions, the way that you express yourself, it should paint that picture where a reader will see exactly what you're talking about. And then it relies on details or the impression of the topic. So whatever the details that you have, because remember, you are describing something that you know, something that you have seen. So in this descriptive essay, we use the acronym SIDES. That acronym SIDES mean S, use strong verbs. I, imagery, where you paint a picture and a person can just imagine. And then D is details. Your E is experience, because whatever that you are describing, you have experienced it. S, and then for suggestions. So you come up with your suggestion to say, this, whatever the story that you are narrating, this is what you are suggesting. So the reader will actually have the picture to say, what is it that you are describing? And the descriptive essay should be in the present tense. Remember, you are describing something that it's here, that you are talking about is physically here. So you have to use the present tense, unlike in the previous narrative, where you're narrating where somebody was not there. And here you will create a feeling of immediacy, because somebody need to feel what you're describing here and now. So you need to avoid using same beginnings of sentence, because then it becomes monotonous and boring. And then the third type of an essay is the expository essay. The term expository is where now you are exposing, you are expanding, you are sort of giving the interpretation. So it requires investigation on the idea. So if you have an essay that needs to be investigated. For instance, in the previous lessons, I was indicating that in the field that you are studying in, it compels you to use a specific learning style. It compels you to use what kind of essays will you be dealing with. For instance, students who are doing law, you need to do a lot of investigation. You investigate the idea, you evaluate the evidence, you expound, you expatiate on the idea. So the purpose of this expository essay is to present the balanced, objective description of a topic. So you need to balance, you need to be objective about what you are talking about. If you are investigating, objectivity is very, very important. You mustn't be subjective where you just mix issues. So this essay is used to explain, it describes, it discusses events, a situation and views of others. Because when you are investigating, you will do research, you will check what are other scholars saying about this idea. So because you want to explain explicitly, you need to describe what happened, you need to discuss the events so that the person who is going to read your statement will be able to see that you have done your research. And the fourth one is the persuasive or the argumentative essays. So here, when you pursue somebody or when you argue with somebody, obviously you want to convince them. You want them to be on your side about what you are talking about. So, for instance, if you are presenting a case in court, you need to convince the judge that this is my argument. This is my, what I have researched on this particular case. So you're trying to pursue the reader to adopt a certain point of view or to take a particular action or the side. So, however, you need to present both sides of the argument, because if you only present one side, then you are subjective. Remember, objectivity is the key, especially in an academic environment and everywhere. Because if you're presenting or you're arguing your point, you need to present both sides of the argument to say, yes, I see that this is the other side of the argument, but you want the reader to pursue or to buy into what you are arguing for. A good example here for a persuasive or argumentative essay is when you are pitching a sale. People who do the advertising, maybe people who do communication and marketing and stuff. When you are selling your product, remember the whole idea is that you want to convince the buyer that somebody must buy whatever that you are selling. So here you will be using a persuasive or an argumentative essay so that you convince whoever that you are presenting. Even if you are a student, whatever your essay that you are arguing for, remember you argue for and you argue against. So as a student, you need to argue maybe for both. You can show the other side. However, you pursue to say, my side, I feel that it is the best. So in your academic journey, please try to apply these essays. And remember, essay is whatever paragraph that you write, even an introduction only. when you are introducing something. It's an essay. Essay does not mean, you know, to say you are going to be given this topic and then you write long, whatever narrative. No, it is divided into different types of essays. Even your assignment question, whatever that is required of you to answer your exam or your assignment question, then you are writing an essay. So I hope this video will assist you when you are studying. Please listen to these videos. They will be on the SRU website, and then just go and refer to see if it will help you. I thank you.